welcome back to another video. So many of you have requested a video on emotional regulation, especially when it comes to your feminine energy. This is so vital. And the reason why is because if you're always reacting in a masculine state, if you are always reacting in a way where you are not allowing yourself to process your emotions, not only are you going to struggle so much with stepping into your feminine energy, but you're also going to struggle regulating your emotions, communicating, developing relationships, because these things are not being regulated. So I'm going to go over so many different ways, and I want you to take notes, because on this channel we take notes, so that way we can become the best version of ourselves, the most feminine, the highest version of ourselves, the highest value feminine woman that we know, so that way we can attract our dream life and attract what we deserve. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and become a part of the Queen community. And if you have any further questions or would like to connect with me, make sure you follow my Instagram. Everything's going to be linked in the description as always. If you are interested in my coaching or taking my free course, also make sure you check the description for that as well. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that you are embracing emotional awareness. If you are not self-aware and you're not aware of what issues that you're going through and struggling with, this is going to be so difficult for you to overcome, because self-awareness is so important. A lot of you are self-aware,
but you're doing nothing about it.
How many of you know that you have an issue, you have a traumatic wound, but you're doing absolutely nothing to heal? I've literally heard people say,
I know I have attachment issues, I know I have an anxious attachment style.
But girl, what are you doing? What are we doing to heal that response? What has caused that?
You don't have to like the emotion. You just have to practice small shifts in the way you react to the emotion, and that will change things for you. We're shaped behaviorally, right? I'm a behaviorist, so I believe that everything is learned, which means basically anything can be unlearned. So we're shaped to believe that when we're in an uncomfortable situation, this means bad. This means danger. Our amygdala, which controls our emotions, is like, it's like literally freaking out. And so we do the thing that makes the discomfort go away. And that could be ineffective coping or effective coping, right? Like name your poison. And being able to learn that that's actually not unsafe. Being anxious is not unsafe. Our reaction to anxiety is actually what makes us unsafe. Being sad is not unsafe. Our reaction to sadness is what makes us unsafe. And being able to actually practice doing that and acting in that way is what makes it a little bit easier each time. So the biggest challenge that we as human beings face when we want to do something differently and feel differently is giving up too soon.
Become self-aware and realize what it is that needs to change and why this is coming up for you in the first place. Take time to recognize your emotions and acknowledge them without stepping into them. Something that has helped me so much is doing guided meditations on emotional release. This is helpful because when you're able to see these emotions and step out of your body to examine how these emotions are impacting you and your mental health, you're able to recognize them and not be bothered by them. Be curious about your emotions. Be questioning about how these emotions are showing up and why, so that way you're able to overcome them. For example, if you struggle with anger, if somebody says something that really hurts you or it makes you upset, instead of reacting, be curious about it. We need to have this childlike curiosity to be able to heal our inner child. And asking yourself questions like, wow, this really hurt. This does not make me feel good. Ask why. Why does this bother me so much? What is coming up and what is being triggered in order for me to feel this way? Usually when we're upset or we're angry or we're frustrated, it's because our bodies feel like they're being mistreated. And now we can't prevent this from happening, but we can prevent escalating a situation, and we can control how we respond. And our response to things impacts a lot of how these situations will end up. So something that I had to do in order to overcome this emotional roller coaster I was always on is asking God what He's trying to teach me through it. Because God may be trying to teach you a lesson through this. You may be stuck at a job that you hate with coworkers that are just always angry and have attitudes and don't treat you right, because God is trying to teach you how to respond. You need to learn how to respond and be able to control your emotions. The Bible talks about having self-control and the importance of having self-control. And as a feminine woman, having self-control is so important. So that way you are able to self-regulate and attract what you deserve and what you desire. Something I talk about in one of my videos about femininity is connecting to your intuition and how important this is as a woman. As women, we have such strong intuition, and we also ignore this intuition so much. There's a song that I really love by her, and when I was going through a breakup, it really spoke to me because I knew from the get-go that this was not the one for me. I knew. When I was going through a breakup, I knew from the get-go, as soon as I started dating this person, that this was not the person for me. This is not somebody I wanted in my life. They had no idea how to treat a woman, and my intuition was constantly telling me to leave, to leave, to leave, to leave all the time, every single day, and I didn't. I ignored that small voice and that gut feeling because I was hopeful and there were no obvious reasons. But you need to be aware that just because somebody is not abusing you does not mean that they're treating you correctly. They don't have to be abusing you or doing something off the wall for you to have a good reason to let go. Practice tuning into your inner guidance and making decisions in a quick manner, because if you can make confident, quick decisions and practice using that intuitive spirit, you're going to find that it is so much easier to listen to your intuition. And if you do end up changing your mind, that's okay. You are allowed to change your mind at any point in time, but you need to listen to that gut feeling, and if something does not feel right, listen to it. Find ways to express your emotions in a constructive way. There's a quote, and I'm not sure who it's from, but it's not mine, but it says, "Unexpressed excitement leads to anger," or "unexpressed excitement turns into anger." So whenever you're feeling an emotion, let's say that you have excitement about something, or you feel angry about something that I have found that is so helpful for emotional regulation and expressing myself and allowing myself to feel is somatic shaking whenever I feel a very strong emotion. So if I'm angry about something, I'll find ways to shake my body or shake parts of, like shake my hands, shake my arms, or even jump, because this helps express that and let that energy go. You can release it. You don't have to hold on to it. There's something very interesting where if you're holding on to pain or you're holding on to things, your body will express it in different ways. So let's say that you experience a lot of tension and a lot of pain in your hands. This may symbolize that you're holding on to things and you're not able to let it go. This is a sign that inner work needs to be done. Now, for me, something that I experienced was having a lot of pain in my head. And something that I would always do is worry and overthink. Those two things would always cause me pain in my head. Tension, stress, all of that was being expressed in my head, and I would feel it and my body would let me know through headaches because I was overly stressed and not expressing these emotions or feelings. This could also be through your feet, it could be through your legs, your knees. Your body will tell you, but it is your responsibility to listen. Doing grounding through nature can be a great way to express your emotions and let yourself feel. So connecting with nature and grounding, literally our feet touching the grass, is something that creates this emotional rejuvenation and healing within your body. And for a lot of people, it sounds crazy, it sounds woo, but if you try this, it makes you feel so much better. There are scientific studies showing that people that ground with nature and spend a lot of time in nature have exponentially lower depression rates and anxiety levels. So definitely trying these things is something that will definitely help you. Whenever I feel an extreme emotion, whether that is excitement, it could be sadness, I try to dance. And the reason why is because I love dance so much, but I truly believe that dance as a woman is something that is so empowering and really embraces feminine energy and femininity. So many women have a lot of trauma and pent-up anger in their hip space, and you can see this within women. It's something I notice if a woman has a lot of inner trauma or built up emotion that's not expressed, she has no sway in her hips. Absolutely none. There is no feminine flow to her walk. There is no feminine flow to the motion of her hips. She is just walking like a principal. She's just walking like an angry principal. And that literally used to be me. And I literally would get comments from my sister saying I looked like an angry principal, and that was a big sign that I needed to change and have a healthy emotional release. Practicing compassion and forgiveness is also so important to see these changes within your emotional state. So this is not just your emotional, it's not just forgiving yourself and having compassion on yourself, but it's also with others as well. Because if you are unable to forgive others, you're gonna find that it is a lot harder for you to forgive yourself. You need to ask yourself, why is it so hard for me to forgive? Because you not forgiving somebody does not do anything to them. They could care less. They're probably not even thinking about it. And you thinking about them every single day holds you in a cage and keeps you stuck. It keeps you unable to be able to process your emotions in a healthy way, and you are in your own cage. You know how the saying goes, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Expanding on your emotional intelligence, finding what is triggering your survival mode and keeping you in a state of chronic stress and unable to express these emotions will help lead you to being able to process these things in a healthy way. It is all inner work. Making sure that you are doing the inner work to see these changes will change your life and your ability to manage your emotions and express them in a healthy way. And every time you have an encounter with somebody, evaluate your response. When you respond to somebody out of anger or you respond to somebody, look at how you respond, and every single time, evaluate how you can respond better if a similar situation occurs. I tell this to my sisters all the time. If you respond to somebody in anger, you respond to somebody raising your voice and it's coming from a place of hatred, or you respond to somebody that is not coming from a place of love, they will not hear you. I want you to think right now of an example. Think about somebody that you see in a store responding out of anger, having no self-control. Everyone and their mother in the store just thinks that that person is crazy. The person that they're talking to probably thinks that they're crazy, and they don't really care. They just want to get away from the person. You are creating an unsafe space, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you when you respond out of anger, hatefulness, and desperation. You need to learn how to be smart. You need to learn how to be savage with your words. You need to learn how to express yourself in an efficient manner so that way people are hearing you and listening to you. If you can express yourself and your anger in a way that does not come off as hateful, but comes off as loving, you're not only activating your feminine energy, but you are developing self-control. As women, especially in today's age, it is so common for women to express themselves in a toxic masculine way because of a lot of wounded feminine energy that is not being expressed and not being worked on. So doing the inner work to make sure that these things are being healed within yourself so that way you can develop that healthy feminine energy will change your life. Don't forget to check the description for all of my free resources that I have for you. Become a part of the Queen community by subscribing, and feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I really hope that this helped you guys, and if you have any other video ideas, please let me know. I want to see you reach the highest version of yourself, and you have all of the potential in the world to do it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.